Alright guys, what's up? This is how I use Excel to record, make TC points and everything for all of the members here in Double Dutch. So first thing you have to know and understand is that all of these cells here contain formulas. And these formulas are very important because they all correspond to something over here in the TC point columns, right? And because they all correspond to something over here in the TC point columns, they also have something to do with the cell and value underneath them, right? So you can't have just one changed and then expect everything else to follow suit, but I'll show you guys how to do that here in a second. First thing that we need to go over is just really how I submit this sort of stuff. And we'll use Pat's score and deliveries here as an example. So you can see here in Pat, he had 73 deliveries made right there. 172,709 is his score, which we got right there. We just type them in the column for the guild battle points and then the number of deliveries, this being a Wednesday, in that column. After the Excel sheet has totaled up all of these scores, it gives you the TC points and then the amount of TCs they get for deliveries. And what I've done is I have totaled that amount and put it right here in this column. This is just easy for me because whenever I have to do the scores again for Saturday's guild battle, I have to add them to this original total, so that will help me not to get lost. So first things first is what I usually do is have my phone here in my lap as I'm doing this, and I get into line and I just go to the first guild battle score that was sent in the guild war room. And since we have a new day being, let's see, the 9th, right? Yes, it would be July 9th. We're going to make a new column for that. So right click on the average battle totals, go to insert, which will make a new column. Type in guild battle 7/9/2016, just like that. Enter. So now we have the new column ready to rock and roll for all this stuff. So as I said, I have my phone here on my lap with all of the scores. I just hit the first picture, and in line it'll let you just swipe from picture to picture if you just have one selected, and then you can go to the next one, the next one, the next one. That's how I do that. So first one we have here is Magic score. So toggle down to Magic. He had 153,874 points that battle. And then he also had 51 deliveries. So as I said, for Wednesday's deliveries he had 47, but now I have to add 51. So then that would give him a total of 98 for Wednesday and Saturday, right? So since I changed that, this delivery TC point should automatically correct itself. And then I just go ahead and go to the next one. Stick. So Stick got 89,527. And 36 deliveries made. So 50 plus 36. Bam. Just like that. And then we just keep going and fill out everybody that has a score. So let's do that. Okay, so that is all the scores that I have for the 729 or 7-9 guild battle. So for everybody else that did not give me a score, I just put in a 0 for their name. Okay, so that's everybody filled in for this column here. But we got a new member, name in, and how you do new members is you of course need to put them in alphabetical order, and then you are going to insert above this row. So insert there. Okay, and whenever you submit that, you see these little triangles here. That means that all of these formulas are now messed up because the data inputs for NameMin's name is incomplete. So for this guild battle, he got 69,062 points with 24 deliveries. Okay, so what you need to do now is that we have a new person, new score. Obviously he got 0 for the Wednesday battle, so you can go ahead and put 0 in for there. But you see how cells, or this column goes A, B, all the way to CA. That means that from column A, B, C, all the way through C, or BZ is hidden. So you need to highlight those two columns and then go to unhide, and it gives you all of the data that you have missed that's been behind the background. So we know here that this is NameMin's name, and you need to put in zeros for every single battle that he hasn't participated in, which is obviously all the rest of them. Okay, then after that, if you go back, you can see that these triangles are gone, meaning that that data is fine, but now all these other ones are messed up. So what we have here, okay, since we have in the average guild battle point total is 0, you can't have anything divisible to 0, which makes this column's formula messed up, which messes up this one, this one, this one, and all of the rest of them. So what you need to do is rehide all of these. Now that you know that data, all zeros have been entered for the battles that he did not participate in, click hide. Rehide all of them, and right here you are going to have row 1 to row 3, meaning row 2 is hidden. So we need to unhide row 2, and this is a blank row. The reason that I put this here is because I use this as a reference for all of the formulas for all the rest of the columns and data sets. So whenever I go to sort them or anything like that, it will assume that this is the title and won't sort it, but it'll sort every other value from there down, right? So always put 1. Always put 1 for its guild battle scores. Okay, so now that we have this new data set, you're going to need to do this for every single guild battle column that you make, every new guild battle. Right here you have, just for example, the sum of cell C2, which would be hidden in here, C row 2, all the way through CA2, which doesn't account for anything in CB. So what you need to do is click that first cell, change CA2 to the new CB2, then hit the right arrow, go all the way over, past the A's, past the BZ's, where you're going to come to the very end, which is plus CA2, but we have a new value, so you're going to be plus CB2, right arrow over, count if C2 through CB2, and then hit enter. And then the next thing you're going to do is called enforcing referential integrity, which means that this cell is correct for all the ones back toward the left and all the ones toward the right, but you need to enforce that through the rest of this column here. So you have that selected, hit this little box right here, hit that with your crosshair, and then drag down to apply it to all of these cells, and stop at the very last member name and then let go. And it will make that formula C2 through CB2 apply to the rest of them, but also since you enforce that referential integrity, it will account for this being row 3 instead of row 2. As you can see now, it's C3 through CB3, and then likewise C4, CB4, C5 through CB5, and so on. And then you need to do that same thing for the percentage change column. So you go to your blank player, you have CA2 minus CC2 divided by CC2. So how the running average is collected is, of course, now that we have the right formula for what is now column CC, everybody has their running average correct. So in the past, we have got the previous battle, which was CA1 in this case, minus his current average divided by his current average, which should give the change to that number. So since we have CB2 now, we need to change that. So we do that. So we do CB2 for the newest guild battle score minus CC2, which is correct, which is the current average, divided by CC2, which is the current average. Hit enter. And then again, you need to enforce that referential integrity for all of the rows below. So that little box, make sure your crosshairs is on it, click and drag all the way to the last member in value, and it'll change all of those values accordingly. Okay, weekly point total will be the same thing. So before, the weekly point total was only CA2, which is right here, but now since we have a second guild battle score, we need to also add that column there too. So now CA2 plus CA2 plus CB number 2, which is the newest score. Hit enter. So now that gives the blank player 2 points, CA2 plus CB2, and then we're gonna again enforce referential integrity. Make sure your crosshairs are on that box. Once the formula is okay, click and then drag down. And then find the last player with the value, undo, or let go. And once I let go of this, you'll see that the TC point columns are going to change because it's obviously included this Saturday Guild battle score. And there you go. Just like that. every time you open up the Excel again, you're going to have this Warlord TC point. It can stay, named that, or it doesn't have to, doesn't matter. But it's always going to be green, even though that the new formula is going to calculate the newest Warlord, which in this case is Zen for last battle, but DK still has the green highlighted. So to fix that, you just highlight DK stuff, or DK cell, and then go to no fill, which will take that green off. Go to Zen's that does have it, fill to that color, and then I like to also fill the value just to make sure that everybody knows that he did a good job. After that's done, if you guys had been noticing, I color code these percentage change to give kind of a quick reference point to who's done a good job, who didn't show up for battle, etc. So all positive values I leave green color. The 0 values, it's usually because people didn't show up. I guess in reality it could be negative 100%, but I just go ahead and leave it at 0. So all the negative 100s I go ahead and make 0. Okay, and then starting with the first negative value that is not 100, that is what I generally make red, but in this case I'm going to start doing them orange, right? Like a caution deal. At least they participated. So orange there. Then go to the next value, and then I just click font color once I have this cell selected. And do that for the entirety of this. Okay, what we can do now is, since it's 0, most of the time people don't just forget to send in their scores. So they were either embarrassed that they didn't do anything, or that their score was so low that they just didn't want to submit anything at all. So in my mind, I think it's okay to just highlight this as just a solid red, letting them know that that's a no-no. Can't be doing that shit. Gotta participate in guild battle. So everybody that has 0s, go ahead and mark them with the red. And there you go. So then you have our total guild percentage change right there, 307%, which is not very good. Usually whenever everybody's breaking personal bests and shit, we have, like 1,600%. Alright, so last thing for the data entry is the table here. So far I have kept track of all of the guild battle scores all the way from, I believe it's October 19th or October 14th. And so the way that you do that is that if you go here below the table, you'll have another set of data, and it ends obviously with the last guild battle that I inputted, 716. So we have a new guild battle score, total guild battle score, 7, 9, 16, and we ranked 11th. Hit enter, and then our score as a guild total was 2,640,569. Okay, so since we have that data entered right there, you can see that it's not accounted for here on the chart. Last one we still have is 716. So what you have to do is, you see the little move cursor that gets activated whenever you slide onto the chart. we're going to click the very edge of this new line graph, and you're going to come up with the frame of it, right? So you're going to click that frame, select it, and whenever you do, if you scroll down to the data, it's going to give you the boxes, right? This is your X, and then here is your line values. Of course, it stops here at the 716. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab that little box here in the corner and drag it to include the new value, and then unclick. And as we did that, you scroll back over, you can see 7916 rank 11, 2640 5. Okay, you got it, just like that. So now that we have that all squared away, I'll show you guys here that, remember at the very beginning of this video I told you that all of the TC points I had added up and put out here just so I remember that now Hammer will have 31 points, but he did already have 14 from Wednesday's guild battle. And this right here is just another formula to just do it for me so I don't have to do the math in my head. So he had 14. As you add CH3, CI3, bam, bam, then you minus CJ3, which was this, and then it gives you 17. So from Saturday's guild battle alone, he got 17 points. And that goes for everybody else that follows suit. Okay. So what I do now is I go ahead and I hide the blank player, and it usually helps me to highlight every third row whenever I go to input the amount of TCs, just so I know, I just don't lose track of my spots instead they go all the way across the row from the name. So usually like a really bright yellow color. And again, this is just how I do it, so of course you don't have to follow every single thing that I do, just whatever works easiest for you. So now that I have them all highlighted, I can go ahead and start tallying up the TCs. So here we are on the Double Dutch page with the TCs, and I have all of names, everything here to my right. And this is the column that I'm now going to be putting in. So Hammer got 17 points. So right there, 105, 17. now that we have all of that, scroll down to the very bottom to the TC point log, and let's see, copy this one here, paste it down, make a new bullet. 17th at 2 a.m. And of course, this is going to be somebody else. Put whatever you'd like. I just put my name. Distributed. Total points. TC 476. Since we already did Wednesday, you have some scores that go ahead and account for some of the TCs from 7-9. So we put 7-6 and 7-9 guild battles. Copy that. Paste it. Pull it. Distribute total point TCs, and now we're going to make one for the warlord, or no. Successful delivery. Paste a new one. And this one is warlord. We already did 7-6 guild battle. This will just be the most recent 7-9 guild battle. And that's it. So now we have all the scores and all the TCs taken care of. Forgot to mention one thing. Before I go ahead and highlight each one of these rows, I generally save it, since I know that that is my brand new everything's correct sheet. So go ahead and save that. Bam. All right, next thing that we do is we have to go ahead and show the members what they got. So to do that, you have your save sheet. You click on the player, then you click and drag. And for Wednesday stuff, I don't include these two TC point columns, because if they see that they got, 10 TCs for this day, and now it says all of a sudden that I've got 21, well, shouldn't it be 31? But they just don't understand that it's 31 total. You've already got your 10. So if it was just for Wednesday's 7-6 battle, I don't include any TC point scores, and I just give them that. But since it's Saturday's battle already included, that is when I go ahead and include all of the TCs. So click player, drag down to everybody. Make sure that you drag to this, past this last cell, so you can include that total percentage change. Unclick, and then Control C is copy. You know it's copied because you have that little dotted line around it. From there, I go to Paint. And then Control V is paste. Okay, black. Okay. And file, save as. And you can save this, whatever name you'd like. So let's see here. Double Dutch. And then same thing with hit escape to deselect. And now select the chart, click the very edge of it, Control C, copy, go back to Paint. Oh shit, I forgot to mention something to you guys. Okay. First, before you do that, I don't know how to do Excel charts very well, I'll go ahead and tell you that right now. So I can never figure out how to make the legend to maintain the name for it. I just don't know how to do it. Suck ass at it. So what I do is I right click on the chart, go to select data, and it's going to say yes, all this is your data, but what I'm going to do is click here on the grade series 1, click edit, and it's going to say series name. I'm sure that there's a way to do it, and maybe y'all know how, but I don't, so this is how I do it. So right there I put total, put total score. Okay, just like that. Now total score instead of series 1, click OK, and if I scroll back over into the chart, now it says total score. I don't know why, but that's how I do it. So now, okay, get that, copy, paste it, bam, just like that. File, save as, name it whatever you want, make sure you get it to the members, click save. And that is how you do the guild battle stuff.